Hello, hello, hello. How are ya? Happy Monday. Good morning, Bruni. Hi, Sue. Hi, Cheryl. Oh, we got to do something about this fan. Woo! Lordy be. It's been raining constantly since Sunday night. Oh, yucky. We had the AC on all weekend. It's like cooler, nice and cool in the mornings, but we still have to run the AC. So we're not quite there yet. We're getting there. Not quite there yet. But we are getting there. We're getting to the cooler weather. Um, so I had to reboot everything right before I came on, so everything's a little discombobulated right now, but that's nothing new. Hi, Mary Sharkey. Hi, Stephanie. Hi, Treese. What'd you change your icon to? I can't see it. It's really little. Hi, Miss Edie. Hi, Joanne. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, see, discombobulated, y'all. Hold on a minute. Oh, doggone it. I also need to do something else. Hold on a minute. How was everybody's weekend? Hi, Mac. You have to show us how to do skins. What do you use? Oh my gosh. Yes, I will show you. I'll show you right now. Am I echoing? I hear echoes, but my volume's down and that's muted. So, Crafting Chaotix. There we go. Doot, doot, doot. One more bling. Thank you. Hi, Sheila. Hi, Valerie. All right, I've got to fix this over here. See, you guys don't realize, but that little intro that I play, it gives me so much time when the video goes live to do all of this back of the house stuff. So I would do all of this when the intro is playing and you guys never have to see this chaos. But one moment, please. But you know, we gotta have it. Hi, Teresa Cherry. Hi, Jill. 60 and sunny today. It will be in the 60s for the next couple days. Then we're going to be in the 40s next week. Not looking forward to the cold weather. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Elizabeth. I always say that like I like the cooler weather, but I don't necessarily like the cold because it's very painful for me. Because I live in chronic pain, it hurts. But we deal with it for a few months. Hi, Anna. Joining YouTube today. Nice. So really quickly, we're gonna do a couple of things today. We're going to finish up the sign that we were doing, the little sign, and then I want to get back and finish the apron because I want to go around it with contour liner and do some cute things to it. I was thinking about it as I was looking at it. Yesterday was so funny because I had this laying on I have like this big cardboard right here. Anyways, I had it laying on there. You know, it's white. In case anybody hasn't noticed, it's white. And Nick's down here and he goes, "What's Onyx chewing on?" And she was chewing on all of this jute. And I go, "I don't know, where the heck did she get that? That's my jute from somewhere." And so it's all nice and kind of like slabbery. And he goes to put it down where, guys? Where? Where does he go to put it down? All of this area. This big area. See this big area? And where does he go to put it down? I was like, no! Min! But it was like slow motion. I'm like, no! He goes, "Well, why'd you have it there?" "So I could put it on there." Nah. Why you? There's only so many clothes you can take off in the heat. Oh, yeah, exactly, right? Unless you want to run around in your birthday suit. Hi, LaBeta. I know. It was like that slow motion, like when they do those reels when the kids like are dropping something, and wasn't it like, what is it, Braun or whatever the paper towel is, and they're like, no. Yeah, that's how I was when he was like this whole thing of jute and it's coming down on him. I'm like, oh. Okay, Trace, I'll let you know. Hi, Angela. I'll let you know. Hi, Tina. I just, we never know with packages anymore. So, a couple of things to tell you guys. There is another color that's in the store. It's called Flame. I'll open it, but reds and blues and purples don't ever translate properly on camera. So this one is called Flame. And then we do have beautiful metallic mica powders. Also, if you've been waiting for molds, the Christmas molds from Redesign to come back into stock, those went back into stock on Friday, which I wasn't able to tell you on DQ, obviously, and then I took Friday off because I was on DQ on Saturday. So if you signed up for an email, you would have gotten notified, but if not, they're in stock, and there's not many left already. So, yeah. Hi, Jeanette. Hi, Nancy Church. Thank you for spreading the chaos. Okay. So let's get my desk on the screen. I can show you how to do some skins really quickly. I have texture plates. My embossing plates, I don't even know where my embossing plates are. They're MIA. Where is my Pentart heavy body gel? Oh, that's the matte. I don't want the matte. Oh, I don't think I ever opened a heavy body gel because I have the Thinnabears open. Well, that's fine too. Heavy body gel, Pentart heavy body gel, and Finn is all the same, but Mary Casey wanted me to do some skins, so let's do some skins. And then we'll get the other stuff on. So let's play. Let us play. Aww. I don't like when I rip the boxes. What the what? What the what? Okie dokie, artichoke. So I'm going to use some texture plates from Stamperia. If you have embossing, why is my head cut off? If you have embossing plates, like card making, those will work too. I used to do this a lot, and I haven't done it for a long time. Let's see if we can find something useful. La 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 la. What do I want? What do I want that I will use? What do I want that I will use? Let's see. That's just script. Now, more than likely, we'll make this texture plate, but we're not going to be able to take it out of the cast, the texture plate, until tomorrow, Mac. So, and because it is heavy body gel, it's going to take a minute for it to set. especially since it's cooler anyways, but we'll demold it tomorrow. I will just keep it set in front of the fan. So I don't know. I don't think I have anything very dark behind here, but you can see it what it is. It's just script. So I am going to. I don't even have the live up, so I can't see anything. What the heezy? Hi, my Monica. I miss you too. The time that I drive to go get Trevor, I miss everybody's live. But I'm running out of rings, if that's even a thing. Okay, so I'm going to take Heavy Body Gel Glossy. You can use Pintart. You can use Finnabare's. You can even use 3D Gloss Gel. You can use, I mean, you could do this with anything and make skins, but specifically, you can use your Heavy Body Gel. I have done this in the past and used them on bottles because it'll stay pliable once it's dry. It's going to stay pliable. And then once you glue it on and do all the things to it, then you're good to go. But I need some more rings. Can you believe it? I wash my hands too much is what it is. Okay, what color do I want to use? Terry, it doesn't really matter. Well, it kind of does matter. What color would I use, like, once we do it? So I'm just going to take, look at how full that is. Good cuggly muggly. I'm just going to take this mica and we're just going to mix it in. Now, the Heavy Body Gel Glossy does dry transparent. So although it might be a little muted at first, it will dry transparent. So don't, as far as like the color goes, because it is mixing with white right now. But you won't really get the gist of it until tomorrow, until we can take the skin out. But I probably haven't done this since I was at, golly, it's probably been at least 3 years since I've used these texture plates, I would say. Yeah, probably about that long. All right, so again, you want to use the glossy because the glossy dries transparent. And maybe we'll do an ornament with it once we take it off, because you can literally cut it all up in pieces and it's very cool. So you're just going to take your Heavy Body Gel. And when you're using texture plates like this, you want to make sure you put some on the edges because you need to, you need to lift it somehow, right? Before, when I started doing this years ago, I would try to make it so clean and only get it in the, in the textured area. And then I had such a hard time picking any of it up because I didn't come outside of it. Hey, Angel. Oh, you're both here? Good morning, Ashley. I got your mica powders and I don't know what else you were asking me for. Carmine. Oh, also you could use your liquid acrylics and do this as well. You can color it with your paint. I just don't like the texture. I don't know why. But anyway, so don't be stingy, you know, get it all on there. But like I said, you want to leave some up there at the top because you need to be able to grab, or even on the sides, you just need somewhere to pull it up. Okay. And I'm trying to make it thin enough that maybe possibly, I doubt it, if I put it next to the fan, it'll dry enough to pull some of it out, but I doubt it. All right. I'm not going to make more because really all you need to do is just see the process. So I'm going to put this in front of the fan. I doubt it's going to dry, but if it does, we'll mess with it a little bit and try to pull some of it out so you can see it. But now if you look at the texture plate, you can kind of see the impressions that we're going to get. And again, everything here that you can see, the heavy body gel, it's going to dry clear and it'll just leave behind that mica. So, but it'll be pliable the entire time. You can cut it. You guys see that whole, well, that's one binder of texture plates that I have, but I have tons of these. So, but you know, it is something you kind of have to do in advance because you need time for it to dry. Yes, I mixed mica in there. I don't know. I think I mixed that one. Hi, Mrs. King. All right, so let's get these. So if you were here, we took the acrylic out of there. I need you to stand up, texture plate, because I need you to, we're going to try to have you dry. We took the acrylic out of here and we frosted it with the heavy body gel matte. And then I actually did a transfer on there. And then we're going to put this Woodgie Bin piece on top of that. We painted this with white. We put the white pearl on it. And then now today we're going to go in with some antiquing paste so we can bring out some definitions, and then we'll find out what else we want to do with it after we get the antiquing paste in there. The texture plates, you wouldn't really want to use clay through, but yeah, they're kind of like that. They're more like embossing folders, if you will. Because they're so thin, that if you were going to use this with clay, like Joby clay, I have used this with Joby clay. Like, actually, you could probably see there's Joby clay in there. But what I have done is I've like pressed it into the clay to get the impression on the clay. You really wouldn't want to necessarily put clay in them because they're so thin. All of the texture plates are fairly thin, and it's hard to really use them with clay. Now, some of them, I mean, are a tad bit thicker, but again, not my favorite to use with clay. You could, but not my favorite. The only time I ever combine them with clay is to literally push the impressions down into the mold, or the clay, but so now it needs to dry, and then we'll pull it out, and then you could do anything with it because it's going to remain pliable. So you could wrap it on a bottle, we can wrap it on ornaments, we can wrap it on all kind of things. So, and then you have that 3D dimension, right? Because it's going to, obviously it's drying inside of there, so it has dimension to it, as you can see. Hi, Regine. What do you mean with stamps? I don't understand. Stephanie. Yes, Ashley. Hi, Jean. What do you mean? You wonder if you could do this with stamps? Like, do what? Like, I have quite a few IOD stamps and Prima stamps that I have stamped into clay, but skins, no. No. How would you do that? It needs to be recessed. You see? So it needs to be recessed unless you are going to do the negative. No, unless you're going to do the positive on a stamp. I don't see how it would work. But hey, I don't know everything. So you try it and you let me know. You might be able to do it. All right. I'm going to get my cloth and we're just going to start using some Umbra so we can get some shadows and bring in some dimension, because right now that looks really weird that it's just so flat and shiny. But as usual, you guys know I don't like the clumpy lumpies. So I'm also going to take a fluffy brush and just help move some of that around and then wipe it again. So we'll do actually him on this side so you can really see especially the wings, because there's so much detail that you almost would be a crime not to put some depth and dimension in there. I couldn't tell that was recessed on my teeny phone screen. Yeah. Hi, Miss Donna. Silly. Yeah. Hi, Regine. Regine, did I just say hi to you? I'm sorry. I feel like I just said hi to you. Hi, Regine again. Yeah, it would be hard to do it on anything that wasn't recessed because you need the gel to sit in there. But if you have gotten the 3D gloss gel from me, that will work in there. You could do it with that as well. But it's a fun way to use, some have a 3D effect, right? Because you could do it with resin if it was still pliable. So that means you need to take it out right away before the resin has completely cured. You can use FormFlex, but I have a hard time whenever I'm trying to glue FormFlex on like a bottle. I just personally have a hard time with getting it to stay without taping it a million different times until the glue sets and all of that. It has nothing to do with the FormFlex. It's the glue setting before the FormFlex pops off of there. But these are so thin and it's lightweight that you can literally use heavy body gel glue to glue it on, or whatever glue of your preference, and it will stick right away because it's such a lightweight and thin material. So now you can see from him to her with just that little bit, how just putting in the Umbra, just it there's like no question, right? You have to put in some depth and dimension, otherwise it looks very, very strange. You couldn't tell it was recessed on your big screen? Hey, Joy. Burnt sienna would look good. Burnt sienna. Hi, Rosie. Burnt sienna. On what? On here? This? Eh? But yeah, if you have the liquid acrylics, Finnabare's liquid acrylics, you can mix that in your heavy body gel, or you can mix that in your 3D gloss gel and do the skins with that as well. This is Would You Ben. Is that what you were asking, Mrs. King? Yes, this is a Would You Ben piece. And then if this is a little bit too dark for your liking, you can always, like I always tell you guys, you can get some transparent wax and take another like stipple brush and work it into the areas that you want to lighten up if you don't like that look. Okay, you see how here she's a lot darker in a lot of the areas. That's what I say whenever I talk about the clumpy lumpies. I just don't like when there's a big gathering of product. So I will use the fluffy brush to kind of just move that product to even it out so it's not clumpy in that area. Some people don't mind it and they like it like that. That's fine. It's all personal preference, right? And then I'll go back and wipe it back again. I guess I don't know. It depends on the project too. Sometimes I don't mind when it's sunk down and dark. So, but with them I don't. Okay. That's the last little bit of her. Hi, Miss Kathy. A little serenade from Ellen J to you. Oh my gosh, isn't she amazing? So the funny thing is, Nick was leaving at that time, Elizabeth. So he was walking down the stairs and he was leaving, and he was saying something about something, and I just looked at him and he looked at me like, golly. And so when she was done, I said, Lynn was serenading me. I was trying to listen to her song. And he was like, what? I was like, never mind. I was like, she was singing to me. She was serenading me. I was trying to hear her song. He's just looking at me like I've lost my. He looks at me like that a lot, mind you. Like I've lost my mind. You know. What do you do? Being of sound mind is overrated. All right. I don't know. I've been stuck on doing this for the past couple years. I like mixing a little bit of gold into the umbra. You don't have to do that, and by all means use a different brush, because you don't want to contaminate anything. So you can see it just brings in a little bit of gold. Now I won't go everywhere with that, and I will still wipe it back. But especially like on his hair, you know, we got to give him some little highlights. But on the wings and on his little cloth, I won't. We might hit the shoulders a little bit, you know, like a little, you know. You would give your, when you're, well, you might not know. Whenever you're doing like, whenever I would do brides or whatever, I would, you do like their clavicle and you put little highlights on there and the shoulders and stuff. You know what I mean. Some sparkle. So her wings are like butterfly wings, right? Did you guys notice that the wings were different? I'm sure you did. All right, let's wipe her back a little bit. I like them. I think they're pretty. Yeah, sparkle and shine. Which kind of made me laugh because people say that a lot, but I don't see that I do. I don't really do. I don't know. Maybe I do. I don't really see a lot of that. But I get that often, so I guess I do. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think I did. A mixed marriage, angel, groom, fairy, bride. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so now, I still didn't hammer the backing in yet. Because well, no particular reason. I guess I can hammer it back in. The thing is we're gonna have to heat him up and squeeze his head, remember? Because his head doesn't fit. But I bet you guys thought I lost it, didn't ya? I know you did. I know y'all thought I lost him. Woo! I do more than Lynn. That's true. I guess I'm a little more shiny than Lynn. Oh my gosh, Megan's song. I was cracking up laughing. Hey. Hey now. What the heck? Hold, please. What the heezy, Wheezy? Do I need to get my staple gun out? They sure did. They didn't want to play. Y'all see these? I should I really should probably restaple these myself. kind of funny. That's the only side that stayed in. Okay, wait. It's upside down. Oh, Lordy be. Right? Because it's supposed to go downtown. Yeah, they're supposed to be falling. Falling down. Okay. So, obviously, this doesn't go up there. This goes down his owl. And since you seem to be sticking up over here, I'm taking it that you belong. You belong. Now, hold on a minute now. See? Look it. They're not playing. They're not playing. Yo, I'm gonna have to get the staple gun. Can already tell you right now. These are not playing nice. Hold on a minute. Hold please. Look at where they stapled. That's not even in the wood. For heavens to Betsy. Is it in upside down? Oh. You know how ticked off I would have been if I would have hammered this in and then I would have looked up and then seen your comment, Mac? Oh my gosh. That'd have been a nightmare. Let me tell you what. Hey, the last time we used this, I was yeah, we're gonna have to hammer it. We're gonna have to staple it ourselves because this is just not the business. These are janky. Watch your eyes. Watch your eyes. This is what we'll do. Hold, please. Did you know we did woodworking here too? For heavens to Betsy. Hey, how come this one is kind of beveled, but that's not beveled? What? All right. We are going to put a little bit of Titebond quick and thick, and then we're going to staple. You see? Isn't that the proper way for things to be done? Anyways. One. Two. Bro. Really? That's how you feel? 3. 4. Oh, that one wasn't even in there. Where's my magnet? I need my magnet. Might as well just take them all out. So, how many of you have a lot of candy left over? Oh my gosh. I was watching. I get stuck in watching reels a lot. It's kind of bad because next thing I know, like 30 minutes, an hour has gone by and I'm just scrolling, watching reels. But this lady was like, last year we had 800, no, what did she say? Was it 800 or 600? Anyways, I think she said 800. Last year we had 800 trick-or-treaters. Let's see if we beat that this year. And I was like, what did she just say? Oh, my banana daiquiris. I don't know where she lives, but she did like a pan of the street. And it reminded me of like the days when we went trick-or-treating when I was young, and how they would bus people in and to your neighborhood, and the streets were just crawling with kids, and noise and laughter and all of this. So anyway, she had a counter on her phone, and every time they, handed out candy to a trick-or-treater, they were counting on the phone. And anyways, they had over 1,000 kids. It was like 1,000 something when they had counted. She said she had bought like 27 bags of candy, and it wasn't like the little, so I guess apparently kids do still trick or treat somewhere. Certainly not in my town. I was like 1,000. I have not seen that many kids on the street in I don't know how long. It was pretty cool, if I must say. How do I lose a big stick? Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Oh, that's kind of a weird way to put them in, isn't it? All right. Well, guess if it works, it works. When I had my house, the neighbors warned me, but we got over 300. I had to shut my laptop before 7. Are you serious? You had 20. We usually get about 200. 200? Hi, Vicky Browning. Hi, Sandy Hinkle. 4? Oh, gosh. So we probably had about 15 or 20. And that's saying 20 is generous. Seriously. Saying 20 is pretty generous. And certainly our lights were on for a while, but the last ones came like maybe, I don't know, 6:30. Yeah, I would say 6:30. Like I said, like what happened last year, it was the same thing. I need to hang a sign on the door next year if we're still here. Please let us still be here. Please, Trevor, don't make me move. But I need to hang a sign on the door that says, I'll be back. Come back. I'll be back. All right. We're just going to run just a really thin bead of Titebond, quick and thick. I will say, though, our neighborhood is, nice, quiet neighborhood. I will say, though, it did kind of bug me. There were 2 girls, our last trick-or-treaters, 2 girls, and they were younger, and they were tiny. They were by themselves, and I was like, in this day and age, y'all, you can't be letting your youngins go by themselves. I don't care if it's across the street, down the street. I'm one of those, like, I'm at the end of your driveway watching you. Because I even said something. I was like, hey, are you guys out here by yourselves? Like, you really shouldn't be. You need to go. You need to go. All right. So we will. Hello, where are you? There you are. How did you get underneath? So we live in the suburbs of a large city, approximate 400,000. We were counting, but we had a good amount of kids up to 8:30. Really? The whole neighborhood had cars lining the streets and a policeman patrolling and saying, "Wow, golly." Yeah, when she said that, when she said, when she said a 800, I was like, I really thought she was just, I don't know, for the video. But then she showed like the street and all of the people on the street, and I just was blown away. Because, like, I remember the neighbors used to make like their entryway to the door. We had this one neighbor, and we looked forward to every year because he would do like a short little haunted house in that little, just that little walkway. And the neighbors would always like have cool things like that, at least the neighborhood that I lived in. And it was always so much fun because they were always coming up with something really cool. And but I was also telling my friend at the gas station today, we didn't go out until it was dark. Like, we would be all ready. My friends and I would be all dressed up and ready to go, but we waited until like, the street lights came on, So it kind of cracks me up when I see them out here at, 5 o'clock. Oh my God. But that's fine too. And then they're not ringing your doorbell so late. All right. I will use my staple gun and put a couple of staples through here. But just for the purposes of right now, I think the staple gun, yeah, it's right over there. But I don't know if I have it loaded with just the straight ones. So while this is setting, I'm just going to put some blue tape so we can turn it around and put the angels in the front. Now you're picking and picking. You guys remember when you would go, and then your mom, we always had to go get a sheet or a towel from the closet, and then we'd have to pour our candy out, and mom had to go through all the candy. We weren't allowed to eat any of it until it was all inspected and nothing looked fishy. And then whenever she was done going through it, then you were allowed to eat whatever. But yeah, we'd always have to go home and wait for mom to inspect the candy. Okay, so we are going to have to heat him up again, and I'm going to have to press his head up on my door here. But I guess what I'm wondering is, should we keep it simple like this, or should we do a little something to the outside here? My neighborhood we took my granddaughters to had families with animals like llamas, pony rides, and mini cows. Oh, how fun! I don't turn my lights on. My husband has a problem with unknown people coming to our door. Well, I get it. I love when Jimmy Kimmel has people filming their kids selling there. I'm almost, because the wood texture there's so much going on out here. I almost want to kind of dry brush this. I don't want to use the same rose gold though, so I don't want to paint it. I just want to pull some of that texture. That is so not smart. Okay, first of all, let's throw all of that in the garbage. All those staples that did nothing. And then let's tip you back upright because you're just kind of an eyesore. And what are all of these things creeping up on my desk for? Oh, I know why. Because I showed you guys that new color and the mica. All right. Not you. You. Right? Yeah. Okay. And I actually want give me some room. Give me some room. I'm going to work that into the brush first. Hi, Angela. What do you mean? Check the candy, Jean? Is that what you mean? No! See what happens when you just don't do things the right way? I knew better than to do that in my hands. There we go. Yeah, we weren't allowed to have any. Don't be funny and try to like eat a piece of it like when you were out trick-or-treating and get caught by mom. Cause yeah, we had to, it needed to be inspected first. That's gonna bug me. It needed to be inspected before we were allowed to have one piece of it. Because I don't know if you remember back then, but you know, they were doing stupid things like putting razor blades in candy. Do you guys remember years ago when that was a thing? So yeah, we weren't allowed. And my oldest brother, who is fifth, I have three older brothers. The third youngest of them, he's 10 years older than me, but he wasn't even allowed. He would still need to even get his candy checked by my mom. He couldn't even eat his own candy until she checked it. And you know, that's just the way it was. Just raced home to get, we usually grabbed a sheet because, you know, my brother didn't want his candy mixing with mine, and I certainly wasn't sharing any of my candy with him. So we would get a big old sheet, and then my mom would sit down and she would check it all. And then when she was done, make sure that nothing was open. She would throw out anything that was open. And anything that she deemed suspicious, she would throw it out. Which was never very much, but You still do? It's funny because, I mean, we grew up that way. So whenever Trevor and Troy went, I would do the same thing. I checked everything. Did I ever tell you this story that, so Trevor and Troy, they had the mobile cars. So my mom had bought Trevor the Jeep and Troy the Escalade or whatever. Now remember, Trevor is, he's younger than Troy, obviously, but you, he got to the point there where he got bigger than him, right? Well, he still is. Anyways, we would always push Troy in the stroller because remember, Troy didn't walk. He didn't walk until he was 7 years old. I don't know if you guys know that, but Troy didn't walk until he was 7 years old. So whenever we would go trick or treating, we would push him in the stroller, and then we'd carry him up or walk him. He'd hold on and walk. Well, we got smart one year, and Trevor drove him in the Escalade everywhere. So he would go, "Come on, Totoy!" And he'd drive with the Escalade to the house, and then he'd open the door and take his brother out, and then we'd carry Troy up to the door, and then, "Come on, Totoy!" And he'd get in the car, and he'd drive him to the next house. I was like, all right, I like this. And then they would put their candy in the back, put the bags in the back, which is kind of funny now because Trevor won't drive for nothing. Did we traumatize him or something? Halloween, making him drive Troy around? The heck? And Troy loved it. Man, sometimes Trevor would reverse though, and then he'd step on the brake, and poor Troy would like, Trev, watch your brother's head. But yeah, now he won't drive for nothing. He nervous. All right, look at that. I don't know if you guys can even really see it, but it's party. It's so party. Okay, it's just a little bit of something so that it's just not black on the outside, just that flat black. And I will go around the tops and the edges and everything because it still needs to be done, but just for the sake of time. Hi, Phyllis. Yeah, it's not even the fact that he doesn't want to drive alone. That freeway, man, he don't like it. I will catch him looking at me when I'm looking in the mirrors to like just change lanes. And then he'll look at me and then he'll look at the mirror like I don't know. He just don't like it. All right, we're gonna heat up his head. Yeah. I don't know. And I remember there was a time that we went to Target and I wasn't feeling good. And this is before Trevor had his driver's license. I think maybe he was 15, 16 maybe. He didn't have his driver's license. And we went to Target. It was only down the street from her house, but I just did not feel well. I couldn't drive home. And I asked him, I was like, "Trev, can you drive?" And he got in and he drove us home. No problem. Like, he didn't have a problem. There's been a few times where when we lived at the other house, I was like, "I need you to go get my pills for me. Can you go get my pills for me from the pharmacy?" No problem. He went and he got it. A couple of times, you know, he was like, Mom, I want to go to Target. I want to go, you know, do something or another. And I was like, okay, you know, took the car, went to Target. When he started working and we had to start going on the freeway, that's when he was just like, nope. Mm-mm. So obviously, there's something, you know, that he doesn't like. You see how soft he's got a soft spot, guys. He's got a soft spot. um, but I don't really want to push too hard because I don't want the back, there we go, to come out. They're pretty snug as a bug in the rug in there. Once I staple the back, I will then pop them back out and I will glue them on there. I just don't, if I put glue on them right now, I have to push them down and I have not stapled them and the glue hasn't set because I can still see some of the white glue. Is that on the outside? That's on this side. So I'm going to let that glue set, but when I get off of here, I will staple it with the staple gun after I change the, because I have the U-shaped staples in there right now. But I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm not really going to do much anything else to it because I think it's really pretty. I don't know. You know, sometimes doing a lot to something, it's not necessary. So it almost sounds traumatizing to Trevor, sadly. The freeway, there's definitely stuff he does not care for on that freeway. And the few times that these doggone diesels have almost squished me between this because they're doing so much work. The few times that they've almost squished me and I've had to lay on that horn and then I'm, you know, spewing all the words out of my mouth. He's white knuckling it the whole entire time. So I know that, you know, he's not fond of the freeway. And the fact that they just keep putting the cement blocks up and just doing stuff on the freeway, it's always going to be like that, but it's really bad in the same town that he works in. It's bad. I see an accident there at least twice a week on this freeway because they're just doing too much. They're trying to make it from a 2-lane, they made it to a 3-lane, now they're trying to make it to a 5-lane, and they're doing too much. And yeah, so he obviously he's not happy. Terry, sounds like you got allergies are working on you. No, my nose just always runs whenever I go live. It's quite aggravating. All right. We're going to turn on my handy dandy little iron here. And then I want to get the contour liner, and I want to do some fun stuff. But I feel like, hold please. But first we're going to heat set this because I didn't get to heat set all the areas on Saturday. I feel like somebody's watching me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. You're green. Yeah, for some dumb reason, my nose always runs whenever I go live. It's quite aggravating. Okay. How are we doing over here? Not you, mommy girl. I really shouldn't do this yet. You know that? Because I know doggone well it's not. Look at that. Never mind. You don't see nothing yet. It's not dry in here. Well, it's not even transparent yet, so it's not dry. I'm impatient. That was another reason why I was. I. I'm. Yeah. I would pick at them way too early all the time. I would lose a lot of my texture plates because I would the edges were always dry, but yeah, other portions of it weren't. Okay, so I know my rice paper is very, very dry. I don't have to risk that it's going to stick today. We're going to heat set that ribbon as well. Now, even though we did this on Saturday, you're still going to reactivate any glue whenever you heat set it. My anxiety has really gotten the best of me when I drive and even ride in a car. You're supposed to be in a bubble though, miss. So you shouldn't have to. Yeah, you. Mm-mm. I don't like driving. These people are weird drivers, and they're. And I didn't mention this on Saturday, but whenever you're heat setting, please don't use wax paper. It needs to be parchment paper. I think that's pretty. I don't know. I would think it would be common sense, but you know, sometimes just need to tell people. All right. I still haven't done. Oh, wait a minute now. I forgot. I gotta heat set that pocket right there because I remember. Sue, help me. What? What I miss? Okay, sir. What I want to do is, well, let's see something first. Hold up. Wait a minute. I was going to use the red. I think the red will be fine. I don't like the way these other ones are moving and grooving, and those two spurt on me. And if they spurt on me on this thing, I'm going to be so mad, so mad, so mad. Sue, don't laugh at me. I'm being serious. Help me. Help me. All right. Hold on. Sue's laughing at me. See how she is? Just laughs at me. Sir. No, I'm not allergic to anything in my craft room. I believe it's because I have my fan on. Anytime I put my fan on, the only time I put my fan on and I sit like this is when I'm sitting here, my eye waters and my nose runs. Lucky me. Okay. November 11th is Chocho's birthday. It's the angel numbers. 11/11 is Chocho's birthday. It's Chocho's birthday. He's gonna be 25. But you guys can't even see it. So now, hi Lucia. How are you? What I realized as I was doing this is I'm only going to be able to do it a section at a time because I can't let this fall. Then the contour liner is going to get all over the place. What a bozo. So I'm going to have to do this one side, and then I'm going to have to, let it sit in front of the fan. Troy is, I don't know where he is, to be honest. Probably up to no good because he hasn't been here since we started. He's probably up to no good out there. All right, I have to set this down because if it gets on, I'm not going to be able to do the bottom until, what you call it? What I do want to know is, where is, hold please. He must be outside. Troy James? He might have went outside. Okay. Sir. Or he's been, what he's liking to do lately is sit outside by one of the outlets and he plugs his charger in and he sits there. Oh, do you guys see that box up there? Right there? His new Samsung tablet is in there. And today the case is supposed to come. And then wait, I wasn't gonna do this, was I? What time is it? I was supposed to do the teapot. Hold up. Anyways, I have to set up that tablet for him because, you know, once he gets to doing it, or once he gets it, he's not going to let me touch it, or he won't want to give it up. Where's my teapot at? Oh, here's my little teapot. Onyx is looking at me crazy because I keep walking around. Okay. Sir, what I wanted to do is, I wanted to take ouch. Ouch. All right. I wanted to take the Utoid Nostalgia. Gosh, what is with the prongs, man? Everybody wants to use prongs. Prongs. But I don't know if I want to use the teapot or the clock. Ow! But either way, both of these are in my store. I think they're in substrates, I believe. I'm pretty sure. Anything that you would... I poked a hole. I'm leaking. Well, not yet. But I poked a hole in my finger. But I've had these in my store for a while. I was so excited when I found that they were available. Here's your little teapot, short and stout. But I didn't know if I wanted to do the clock or the teapot. It's in my store. It's from the Decoupage Queen Christmas release. The one that I just brought over here. Yes, it's in the store. You can find it in my store. If you kill exclamation new, it'll take you to all the new products, or you can go exclamation chaos and then do the drop down to Decoupage Queen holiday release, I think it is. Not yet, Mac. But I just have to glue all the trees. Oh, you're not going to be able to see it. But let me pull it down. This does stick. It does stick up there in the magnet that's up there. It does stick up there. And then you guys, if you guys didn't see, on Saturday, I think I showed it. See? It lights up. So that the magnet that I did put in there, it is holding it. The only thing I did find was, so you can see how high up this is as opposed to the length of the chandelier. So I'm thinking that I might want to put something up in the stem, because I need to drop the chandelier down a little bit lower. So okay, so let's see what one I want to use, because I guess it's going to depend on what we can see, because obviously Santa is going to get chopped off if I use Santa. But I thought I wanted to use, oh, see, look at that would work fine in there. I think that's going to be, well, the house would be okay in there too, but it's going to cut off a lot. Oh, I don't like that house. I like this one. I'm missing a page, aren't I? Oh no. Both of the Christmas trees are super tall. Guess if we just wanted Santa's face in there, but I don't like that. So it's got to be one of these. I'm pretty sure that's what I had said anyways. Yes, I had ordered it, and when we were doing the pumpkin, it was supposed to be here on that last day that I was doing the pumpkin, and then they rescheduled it for the day after. So it finally came the next day, but now that I stuck it up in that stem, literally, if I pull it down, if I put it up there in the stem, like only that much of the chandelier shows. So I'm gonna have to build it out so that I can, and which will be easy. I mean, that magnet, I'm not gonna be able to get that magnet out because it's glued up there. But I will like put some chipboard up in the stem so that way it can hang down lower, because it's not, it's up in the stem way too high. So I need to put the chandelier in there first though before I put the trees down, because I'm thinking that even the biggest tree, I think that one's going to be a little bit too tall. So we'll see. But I want to get the chandelier up there in there first before I glue the trees in there, because I think it's going to be a problem. I think those are going to be too tall. I think I'm going to need to I might be able to cut the bottoms of them because they're on a little bit of a wood thing. I'll probably cut the bottoms of them because I'm going to put snow down there anyways. I really like this one. What do you guys think? This one or this one? One or two? Kind of like this one. These are both in my store. The teapot and the clock are in my store. Can almost do it a little symbolic though. If it was like the clock, we can do like Christmas countdown, and then it might kind of be funny to put Santa's face in there and then put presents in there. I don't know. Now I don't know. Eh, both of them will be cute. This one, huh? Okay, that's what I thought. Oh, all right. All right, then. I wasn't sure if this was actually metal, but it is. It is. It is. It is metal. The magnet stuck to it. Now you tell me, Sue. Ooh. Love to, but think it would be cut too much off. Right. Hi, Shelly Belly. Ooh. Hi, my Shelly Belly. Huh? You look up and ready too late. Y'all, I put a battery in my clock because I had to change the clock time. So, anyways, I was like, well, you better put a battery in there finally. Good Coogly Moogly. What the heezy weezy? What do we have going on in here, Bonding Primer? It's very peculiar, I must say. Reread, sorry. What? I'm so confused. All right, then. I'm just gonna use Bonding Primer because we need a white background. Or I want a lighter background. But I don't. I'm gonna need to paint it white. Anyways, so we'll put some Bonding Primer down. It is metal. And then we'll paint it white. But we also need to think about what I'm going to do to the outside of the teapot. Oh, you took out a metal. Oh, yeah, to see. Yeah, because most of the times they don't, this will be like a chipboard or something, but it kind of doesn't feel like it's metal, but then it does. So, yeah, that's why I had to take the magnet out too to make sure, because y'all know anything that does not have pores and you're going to paint, you want to use Bonding Primer. And I'm taking a minute to make it so that it's not crazy brush marks, because we're going to have to paint it white anyways, and then the transfer is going to lay on top of it, and I don't want it to have all kind of crazy marks on there. So Yeah, it's very, very rare that it's metal. Usually they'll just, is this one like that too? No, see this? No, that's chipboard, isn't it? That's not metal. Nope, that's chipboard. I don't know. This one's pretty cool though. Okay, so the cabin is got a lot of the fall. What the heezy weezy? A lot of the fall tones, right? We've got the reds, the burnt oranges, the greens, the grays, the browns. So I really don't stick my arm in this. Cuggly muggly. Sue means that you looked up and read the chat too late after she. Oh. Well, then she wasn't speaking English either, you know, Stephanie. She talks about my speaking. She don't speak English sometimes to me. Alrighty then. So, sir, if that's going to be in there, and this is metal, do we make it even more crusty dusty? Oh, also, whoever's been asking me for precious rubies, that's back as well. The precious rubies paste is back. Watch, I'm going to pull out every single one except for the... Why? Why does this happen? Cuggly muggly. Yeah, that stuff. That stuff. The jewel paste. That stuff. Yeah, the precious rubies is back. I really don't even need to prime it because we're going to go right over it with some crusties. So, Troy James. You haven't come and messed with me at all. What the heezy weezy? Did your uncle leave my door open? Oh, Lordy be. Ay, 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 ay. Troy boy? Do you know how hard it is to constantly try and think it in another language? Yes, as a matter of fact. Was a couple of Nicole watchers. Interesting. Hey, Nicole. So, the Finnabair Rust Effect already has texture in all of the pastes. I will caution you, though, that whenever you do open these jars, that you make sure that they're sealed up really well, because it already does have like the texture powder in these. The more the air hits it, the more your product is going to dry out. That's why I refuse to buy these in the bigger jars, and I refuse to buy them and stock them in the store, because I just feel like unless you're doing rust every day, every other day, your product is going to get hard on you, and that's just the nature of this product. So, but I do feel the little jars that they're more manageable. But I know I've had a few people ask me how come I don't stock the bigger jars. I will never stock the bigger jars. I won't. You will not ever find those in my store. And because I have to buy quantities of so many whenever I purchase something, I won't. You won't find that those will ever be stocked at Craft and Chaos. So it's just in my humble opinion. I don't want you guys to waste your product, so I wouldn't want you guys to buy the 230 ml jugs of these, and then it's gonna go off on you after you open it a couple of times. So go check on him. Troy? Oh, heck no. Troy? What the heezy, Wheezy? I thought you were outside. Where are you, bud? Okay. I know you guys can hear me. He's not outside. He's asleep. He's asleep in his bed. Him's is night-night. Oh my gosh, he is night-night in his bed. This time change is already messing with him. It's only one day. He's got the blanket over him and everything. Aw, poor baby. He's tired. That scared me. I thought for sure he was sitting on his little stool outside, because he'll sit out there for a while. Huh. He wasn't up early. He didn't go with me to go take Trevor, but he was up when I got home. Some could possibly be, Valerie. But he was down here when we first came on. He was down here, so I don't know how long he's been up there. Like if he went up there right after, or what have you. All right, so there's no right or wrong way to do your rest. You can I swear, I feel like my brushes are like walking away. They're like going somewhere. Like they're all having a party somewhere, and I don't know where the party is. Because I'd like them all to come back. And I don't want to jab my other brushes. I'll jab this one. Hi, Barbara Ross. Yeah, he just... Sometimes he'll do that. Sometimes he'll just go up and he'll go to sleep. But then, yes, he will be up all night when he does that. But the time change was a little wacky, right? Because he was tired last night, but I was doing stuff, so obviously he's not going to go up if I don't go up. So we were down here for a little later, not a lot later. Anyways, your rest effect. I don't know if you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys can see the texture that's already in here. This is Pintart's rest effect. I personally don't. I like this one because I don't like having to mix the powder in there. But and I'm unintentionally only doing the top right now because of what time it is. We're not going to be able to get the whole pot done right now. So you can literally keep stamping the colors to your liking until you get that rust effect, hence the name, that you prefer. I don't tend to dry in between, but you can if you want to, if you feel like your colors are mixing too much. Sometimes when I'm going back and forth with the lighter colors, I will dry so that way those don't keep mixing. Yes, this is in my store. This and the clock has been in the store since I opened the store, you guys. These two, I was stoked when I found that, because these are very hard to find. So as soon as I found that I could get them, these were one of the first things that I brought into the store once I started bringing in more inventory. So, see, as you can tell, I know sometimes when people are doing this, they get a little like frustrated because they think it's supposed to look a certain way. Never seen rust look the same. So just keep mixing until you like what it's doing. See, now I will not do that though. I won't go back in and contaminate. Just because, like I said, your products are going to, these three, because they basically already have this in them. Like I said, you just want to be careful with them as far as letting the air hit it. And not closing them up tight enough. Look at how cool that is. And you really just keep going back and forth until you are happy with it. But because this one does have that the powder in there already, it will feel very textured, which is very cool because then it's very realistic. It will feel very textured once it's all dried. Now, if you didn't have this kit here, I'm going to tell you right now, without even looking at them, I know that this is ochre. This is earthy brown. I think this is red brown. Yep, red brown. This color I don't use, so I wouldn't know. Red clay. You could do exactly what I just did. You don't need this kit necessarily. You could just mix in some colors with this to get that. You know what I mean? Look at that. So that's what it was looking like. This one looks like it just has some patina on here, just very rough. But tomorrow when we come back, we'll end up doing this whole thing. Obviously, this is going to be dry already, but you guys know you should wait anyways. It's not that big of a deal because we're going to do the transfer on top of it. But I don't want to start doing the transfer and then the paint comes up. Do you know what I'm saying? And yes, I'm going to mess with this again. And I know doggone well I shouldn't, but I'm going to because it's kind of satisfying. Okay, stop it. It's not dry. It's not dry in there. I'm so impatient. Hi, Lori. But tomorrow we'll take that out of there. But I'm still impatient. I want to take some of it out now. But see how the ends are coming up? You see? That's how that whole that's how it's all going to come up once it all dries. I'm such an impatient person. But do you see? I'll push it back down in there. But anyways, once it all dries, this will be a skin. Ooh, we can use the skin on here. Oh, it's a good thing I did a color I liked. Sometimes I do things that make sense. Sometimes I really don't, but So we'll take the skin out tomorrow. We'll take the skin out tomorrow, and we're definitely going to use the skin on here. That worked out because I really wasn't planning on using the skin. I was just going to show because Mac asked me to show her. So, but we'll take the skin out tomorrow and we're going to use it on here. I am actually going to make sure these are covered up and not just sit here. And yeah, so tomorrow we'll take the skin out so you guys can see what it looks like. And actually what I might do is mix a little bit more and bring the skin all the way down, because if we are going to use it on here, we're probably going to need a little bit more, because once we split it apart and start, pulling at it and all that stuff, I'll probably need a little bit more. So I'll mix some more and put it in there. I'll do that right now so that it is all dry tomorrow, because I'm going to want to pull it out tomorrow. I know I am too, because it's going to look so cool on here. We'll be able to put like the skin on there, and then we can even add more like waxes and whatnot to it. It's going to be really cool. It looks like I just got just wiped, ate a corn dog or something and wiped my face. I don't know. But I am going to right now mix some more mica in the heavy body gel, and I'll add it to the skin, and then we'll play with it tomorrow. But if you are going to make skins and you have texture plates or you're going to use embossing pads, it's very important for you to intentionally put it on the outside, because you're going to need to pick at that to pull it up, because it's going to be hard for you if you don't have any excess on the outside to pull the skin out. So whenever you're doing the the embossing plates, so those squeeze together, you don't need to close it, leave it open and just put it all on the outside. Because those usually you would put the paper in there and sandwich it together, right? You don't need to do that. You're just using it for the impression. So don't squeeze together the heavy body gel. You'll have a big mess. Anyways, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I will see you back here tomorrow. I'll finish the skin and then we'll get to play. We'll do the rest of the rest. I don't know if you guys can see it. We'll do the rest on the teapot, and then we'll paint the backing and do all that good stuff. So anyways, or two sides of the embossing folder, or use it on both sides. Yeah, use it on both sides and just leave it open, but just don't sandwich it together. Alrighty, everybody, have a great rest of your evening. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.